Horses in the paddock now for the sixth race here. This is the first of the all-graded stakes Pick 5, a $250,000 guaranteed Pick 5 presented by TVG. What a way to start it off. Good field of 11 here following the scratch of the 5 holding gold.
Yeah, this is where the action starts to heat up. We've got 5 stakes races in a row in here. We're getting kicked off on the turf. Now, we haven't been on the turf since the last race yesterday, so we're going to find out how this turf is playing. We'll get a little bit of an idea here.
And it has been upgraded to good, and just as the action heats up on the racetrack, it starts to cool down a little bit. So we got a little cloud break here, a few raindrops coming in right now, but nothing significant. We'll keep you posted, obviously, if that changes. Let's take a closer look at the field here, a really wide open field of 11. I ended up going to the 4 Extravagant Kid. This horse ran a winning race 2 starts back when he ran second, just beaten a half length by Jazzy Times. But last time out, he took it to Pocket Change early. Pocket Change is a very fast racehorse, and Extravagant Kid was able to get the best of him in the Lucky Coin up at Saratoga. He was also stakes placed there in the Kentucky Downs Preview Turf Sprint at Ellis Park. This horse has really turned into a nice, handy turf sprinter and ran a huge buyer 4 starts back. He ran a 104. I like the spot here today, placed by Brendan Walsh. Corey Lannery is going to have the assignment for his Keeneland debut, and again, a 5.5 furlong specialist. 4 wins from 12 starts at the distance. In fact, he has 8 top 2 finishes by going the 5.5 furlong distance. For a second, let's go with number 8, Undrafted. He is the 8-year-old son of Purim and looks no worse for the wear. This is an absolutely incredible racehorse, and he loves Keeneland as well. He's made over $200,000 just right here. He's made $1.5 million in his career, a hard-knocking racehorse, and he is a horse for course. He really loves the Keeneland turf, 2 wins in 5 tries, and he's also a horse that appreciates the 5.5 turf sprint. 3 wins from the 10 starts going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. He's a world traveler. He's an impressive athlete. Julio Garcia, Wesley Ward teaming up here with the old campaigner Undrafted. Let's see if he can get a piece of it today. I think he will. He's at a really good price there on the tote board as well, and is always one to watch when he runs here at Keeneland. Let's head back to the inside with number 1, Done Deal, to round out the trifecta. Coming out of the Ian Wilkes barn, this horse ran a disappointing 6th last time out. He did run in Grade 1 company in the Vanderbilt up at Saratoga earlier this year. But I think this is a horse that is better suited to run on the turf. He's 2 for 2 going turf sprints at 5.5 furlongs and 5 furlongs alike. He has a win at Churchill Downs to start off the year after taking nearly a 2-year break. So getting back on the turf, I think this is a great spot for him. He should certainly be a horse to round out the exotics. And Brandon, it really looks like you could make a case for a number of these horses in this race.
Totally agree. These types of races, especially when you get into the grade 3s, grade 2s, where you look, me especially, I look for the up-and-coming horses in here. So I'm going to put the number 4 Extravagant Kid on top. This is a horse that just won at Saratoga. That turf horse that day had a little bit of give in it. We've got some give in it today. And he goes 3rd start off of the layoff for a really good turf barn in the Brendan Walsh barn. So Extravagant Kid, I think he's going to sit a nice trip. He's got speed, and we saw speed do well yesterday. But at the same time, I don't think he needs the lead in there, and he can sit a nice trip. And we'll see if Corey can get it going for Brendan Walsh. So number 4 Extravagant Kid for me on top. Went just to the outside with the number 6 in the 2nd position here, number 6 Rocket Heat, and this should be the speed of the speed. Now, I did like him last time at Saratoga, and something happened out of the gate. He didn't break all that sharply, and this is a horse that has made a living on the lead, and not only made a living, but sets ridiculous fractions up front. So I'm looking for Rocket Heat today to rebound, and I kind of like the switch in here, whether Johnny was going to ride Holding Gold on purpose or not, but Jose Lezcano can definitely get a horse out of the gate, and he can definitely get one out on the turf especially. So number 6 Rocket Heat is going to be my 2nd selection. Then we'll stick to the inside. Number 3, a bit of a long shot, Kid Perfect in here. Like the way this horse was training at Churchill. Was a little bit, I would say a little rambunctious, just a little bit nervous down here, but he seems to have settled down. He's kind of taking everything in, and he is coming off a little bit of a freshening, so we'll pay attention to see how he goes on track, but he has settled down. He's got some speed, too. He's got a little bit of back class in there, so Jesse, number 3, Kid Perfect for me, and if Kid Perfect wins, I'll be off to a great start in the pick 5.
Yeah, there's a number of ways you can go in here. And another horse who has been looking like he's been doing pretty well, especially off the claim, is Vici. And he is down here for trainer Mike Maker right now and looks very calm and composed. There's not a ton of speed in this race, not what you would typically see in turf sprints. Now, there is a fair amount of speed. There are some horses in here who will be forwardly placed, but it will be interesting. This race could set up for Vici pretty well. He's got the blinkers on and no wraps whatsoever. Again, this is a horse that was claimed just a few starts back by the Mike Maker Maker barn, and since then has really turned in some nice performances, running some career high buyer numbers there, a 93 and a 92 in those efforts. This is a horse that likes to stay off the pace a little bit. 5.5 furlongs, truthfully, might not be the most ideal for him, although he's had plenty of success running the distance. He hasn't won on the Keeneland turf course. That could be a horse to watch, though. He's been very calm and very composed down here. And again, off the claim from Mike Maker, this horse has really started to turn the corner. Might be a horse to reckon with here in the Woodford Turf Sprint. Really good race here, the Woodford. A Grade 2 event kicks off the All Stakes Pick 5, $250,000 guaranteed, presented by TVG. Good luck.
Horses are entering the track for Keeneland's 6th race, 22nd running of the Woodford, presented by Keeneland Select Grade 2. 5.5 furlongs over the turf, listed good. 3-year-olds and up. Double, pick 3, and the $250,000 guaranteed all-stakes pick 5 begins here. Scratch number 5 holding gold. Post time in 9 minutes. Here are the starters. 1 is Done Deal, owned by Sierra Farm of Sharon Hudon, trained by Ian Wilkes. Chris Landeros is up. 2, Bucchero, owned by Iron Horse Racing Stable of Harlan Malter, trained by Tim Gleishaw. Fernando de la Cruz is the jockey. 3 Kid Perfect, owned by Jaguar Racing LLC, a Frederick Bache, trained by Angel Montano, Ricardo Santana Jr. aboard. 4 Extravagant Kid, owned by Dars Incorporated, of David A. Ross, trained by Brendan Walsh, jockey Corey Lannery. 5 is Scratch. 6 Rocket Heat, owned by Flying P Stable of Jason Provenzano, trained by Michael Tenuzzo. Jose Lescano is up. 7 Win Lion Win, owned by Farm Dali Racing Stable of Allison Ramsey Banks, who's the trainer. James Graham is the jockey. 8 is Undrafted, owned by Wes Welker and Elizabeth Kuhlman, trained by Wesley Ward. Julio Garcia is up. 9 Vici, owned by Three Diamonds Farm of Kirk Wyckoff, trained by Mike Maker. Jockey is Tyler Gaffalione. 10 Will Call, owned by Klein Racing of Richard Klein, trained by Brad Cox. Sean Bridgmahan to ride. 11 Anguston, owned by Twin Magnolia Farm of Jim Jankowicz, trained by Lon Wiggins. Brian Hernandez Jr. is up. And 12 Machismo, owned by Luch Racing Stables Incorporated of Ron Paolucci, owned also by Ashley Quartarolo, Raquel and Christina Ritchie, trained by Anthony Quartarolo. Albin Jimenez is the jockey. Post time at 7 minutes. Horses have reached the starting gate for Keeneland's 6th 22nd running of the Grade 2 Woodford, presented by Keeneland Select. Start of the $250,000 guaranteed all stakes. Pick 5. At the post. And they're off at the Woodford, presented by Keeneland Select. Rocket Heat comes right out running for the early lead. There's Done Deal down to the inside. Extravagant Kid away third. Bucchero comes out fourth. Anguston fifth. Machismo sixth up on the outside of Vici in seventh position. Will Call is eighth toward the outside. When Lion Win is in ninth. Undrafted is 10th into the far turn. And Kid Perfect is 11th and last. Back up front, Rocket Heat chased by Extravagant Kid to the far outside. Done Deal third. Bucchero fourth. 21.8 for the opening quarter. Midway on the turn. And Rocket Heat is against the rail. A 3-length leader to the top of the stretch. Done Deal to the inside is second. Ahead, Extravagant Kid third. Now Bucchero swings toward the outside but fourth. 5 lengths off the lead, coming toward the 8th pole. Rocket Heat leads it by 3. Extravagant Kid and Bucchero coming on from the outside. Here's Bucchero striding forward to challenge Rocket Heat. Extravagant Kid is fighting on between those two. Bucchero has a short lead. Extravagant Kid dives to the inside. Bucchero, Will Call coming late. Will Call chasing Bucchero, who has the lead. Bucchero goes back to back in the Woodford, presented by Keeneland Select for Fernando de la Cruz. Unofficial results of Keeneland's 6th race: 2, Bucchero first. 10, Will Call was second. 4, Extravagant Kid third. 11, Anguston fourth. And 7, Win Lion Win fifth. 2, 10, 4, 11, 7, unofficial. Results of race 6 official. 2, 10, 4, 11, 7 official. Keeneland 6th. Official winner of race 6, the 22nd running of the Woodford, presented by Keeneland Select. 2, Bucchero, owned by Iron Horse Racing Stable of Harlan M. Malter, trained by Tim Gleishaw. Fernando de la Cruz, the winning jockey. Bucchero, 6-year-old son of Kantharos, out of Meet Me on Time by General Meeting, bred in Indiana by Southern Chase Farm Incorporated and Karen Dodd. 5.5 furlongs over the turf, listed good, 104.04. Now the trophy presentation. Presenting the trophy for today's Woodford, presented by Keeneland Select, Christian Bryant, Vice President and Publisher of Garden and Gun magazine.
With the winning connections of Bucchero, winner, the back-to-back winner of the Woodford it is, and Fernando de la Cruz was aboard. Fernando, talk about the trip, and it looked like everything was business as usual aboard him today.
Thanks to guy, work out good the plan. I mean, I just putting it right behind that 3 speeds and just putting it outside and making close and making comfortable in the stretch. So he just picked it up in the last 16 but he get to a wire, you know.
And it didn't look like there was going to be a ton of speed heading into the race. Did the race unfold like you thought it would?
Yeah, I was thinking it was going to go a couple more speeds, but I mean, it was good, you know, good position, work out good for me.
Well done, great ride. And Tim Gleishaw, it's like deja vu all over again, as Yogi Berra once said. You broke from the 2 posts last year, you broke from the 2 again today, much the same this year. Talk about the durability of this horse and how has he managed to stick around for so long and have such a well-established career?
He's just an iron horse. He's very special to us. You know, to have an Indiana bred come in here for the second year in a row and win on that in Keeneland on the national stage is just something we're very proud of. You know, on a side note, he just became the all-time money earner in Indiana history today, which is something that's important to me as well. Just can't thank Iron Horse enough for the opportunity to train him.
Obviously, a great horse means a great deal to your stable as well. He's taking it to Royal Ascot. We see the hat there. Will we see you in a few weeks at the Breeders' Cup?
We'll definitely be there.
All right, fantastic. Tim Gleishaw, trainer of Bucchero, back-to-back winner of the Grade 2 Woodford.
Thank you.
Keeneland 7.